Oh my goodness, we in the building, huh? Team no sleep. One more again. Where we
Yes,
been,
sir.
man? Where we been, man? Ah,
Man, I don't know. We took a week off, and man, the whole it seemed like the world didn't change in a week.
for real, for real. But listen, man, it's good to see you. Good to be back in the
Yes, sir.
building, out here doing Team No Sleep, social impact of sport, y'all. Thank you for joining us. We had to take a little hiatus. I'm out there traveling in these streets, but man, we got some things we need to talk about. What's today? July 26th,
Yes, sir.
2023. Let me go ahead and acknowledge folks that are slowly coming in. Sir, I see it. I see it. Look, let me get my comment. You see the little difference in the show look too. I don't know if you know. There's some
Uh,
subtleties to this show, right? We
You, you,
definitely on par with
you always improving,
ESPN.
man. You always making us shine, man, making us look good. So we can't. I
Trying
can't argue
trying
with
to,
you.
man. Listen, we trying to sell this to Tyler Perry one of these days. Okay,
There you go.
okay.
There we go. We need a
No,
little
but
bit of that money right there. For sure.
just a little bit. I want to go ahead and say, oh, hold on, before I even start. See, Gretchen gonna start. Okay, good to see you, my friend. Women's World Club. I actually have it on my other screen right now. We're gonna talk about that a little later, and I believe I'm gonna get to hang out with you in Boston in October. So I'm glad you are here, Gretchen. Appreciate you, my friend. Um, and then Dr. Stone, huh? There we go. I was just talking about you earlier today, man. Good to see you, brother, for being here. Now let's go ahead and get into these stories. Unfortunately, our first story. Unfortunately, whatever, our first story is always a social impacting story. First thing we want to talk about is young Bronny James, right? We want to give some healing to the folks that are taking care of him. And young man, y'all know Bronny James, LeBron James' oldest son. He was out there practicing with his squad, USC, as they were preparing to go on an international trip, right? Because USC plays international ball before the official start of their season. And he was out there practicing, messing around, had cardiac arrest.
Yes.
Right. So, man, that's imagine that as a parent. You are whatever stat you are, not just Savannah and LeBron James, but James Hicks, Montel Allen, you get to call it your son is out there or your child is out there doing something and they end up having a cardiac arrest doing something that you wouldn't think that they would have a cardiac arrest out there playing basketball. That's got to be just a traumatic experience to go through it. Thankfully, shouts out to all of the medical staff all over who are taking care of folks. They were able to work with him, get him to where he needs to be. He was in intensive care for a little while. He is out of intensive care and he is stable right now. So, man, what are your thoughts when we start seeing these stories like this? Again, young folks, regardless of fitness, right? Ronnie James, top of the line, right? 0% body fat, high cardio, all the good things. But man, he's out there playing the game that he loves, playing a little basketball, a little pickup game, a little practice. Mess around, has cardiac arrest.
Yeah. First of all, pray for great for his recovery that he's able to start to be in the recovery process. Two, I think that has to probably be the most scariest moment that the James has probably ever faced, right? Their son, going through this situation. And for people who don't understand the difference between a heart attack and cardiac arrest,
Yeah.
what this means, a heart attack is something you have, it's blockage of a valve or stem that's coming to your body that stops the blood flow. Cardiac arrest is actually the heart stops. So Bronny James actually died, whether
Yeah.
it was for 1 second,
This
two
is
seconds, three.
this is a Damar Hamlin situation right here, and that's
Yeah,
where
yeah,
my mind immediately went when I read
yeah,
this. So yeah,
exactly. So he actually died for those few seconds till they were able to revive him and get him to go. So I think that this gives you that reflect moment, right? Is it all worth it? Right? Is it all worth it? That's the thing the
wow,
James family is going to have to kind of discuss and say, is this all worth it for you to do? Because your health is more important than anything. Especially for a young man that has his whole life to live in front of him. This is where that evaluation comes from the James family to figure out what's going to go on. And I'm sure it makes LeBron reevaluate his situation, right? His career. Does he want to spend more time with his son now that this happened? Man, is it really important for me to be on the road and playing professional basketball and make sure I keep a watchful eye on my son during his season if he decides to continue to play?
yeah,
It's a whole. I bet you it's just a whole lot of emotions and a whole lot of thought process. And you know, mom playing devil's advocate. I don't want my baby out there. Dad saying, he's gonna be okay. He's strong enough. So you got, probably the battle within the family that like what's going on. And thank God they're in a financial situation where everything is going to be okay, right? No matter what, at the end of
Good
the day,
point. Good point. Yeah.
financially, they're going to be okay. So basketball is not his only outlet to get out. You know what I mean? For a lot of us, that's their mechanism to get out. We're going to get out, by you going to basketball and you going to the NBA. Bronny's not in that situation. Like his livelihood doesn't depend on him going to the NBA. His lifetime legacy financially is not dependent on him going to the NBA. So I think that the James family is going to have a lot to discuss. Bronny's going to have to do a lot of evaluation what he's going to want to do. I'm sure they're going to have top of the line cardiologists looking at him, monitoring him, making sure everything goes okay, especially if he decides to step back on the court. But I pray for him. I mean, I don't want to see this happen to nobody.
Yeah.
He just happens to be in the limelight. And the crazy part about it, with this heat wave that we're going through, football is about to start, dehydration. We
Yes.
see always every year we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these incidents that happen to athletes, right? So I'm hoping that this Bronny situation shines light on the ones that are the Division III in high school. It sheds light on everyone that we got to be aware and understand that this is a possibility that it happens. We don't know. They don't even know what caused it. Hopefully they figure it out. But we got to be very mindful of our athletes getting ready to get out there, especially being outside with this heat and the
So
hydration thing, as far as everything that goes across the board.
yes, I mean, so you bring up a great point, and another story that I wanted to talk about because I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into some of these having people out there exposed to elements, especially when they're out there playing or even broadcasting. Because Shaka Hislop,
Mm-hmm.
right, out
Yep.
there covering soccer match, and he's an ex-athlete, ex-professional soccer player, so he's out there broadcasting for ESPN, and I'm not going to show the video, but because it was actually frightening to see it as well when he collapsed and fainted on camera, right? And I saw some
Mm-hmm.
after footage of that or some other angles, and his colleague actually was broke down into tears, right, because
Yeah.
of going through that momentary seeing his friend go through that situation. And so let's think about that. And what do you guys think in the comments, right? We got our athletes, we got our analysts, we got our broadcasters, folks out there in the elements. It's 110 degrees up here in Northern California today. I'm not going outside, right? And again,
Yeah.
you out here running up and down a pitch, you up and here running up and down a lacrosse field or whatever the case may be. I heard there's some new lacrosse teams that are going to be announced in different cities, but they're not doing it in these extremely hot cities. Like Vegas isn't going to get an outside lacrosse. We got to think about that kind of thing, right? I mean, being out there with the
Yeah.
elements and being properly hydrated and things like that, man. What are your
And,
thoughts when you
and
read this story?
I think, again, we got to evaluate the whole situation for what it is. I mean, I read an article that some people say it was converted. That it was a COVID vaccination that's starting to cause this thing in athletes. We don't know if that's
Yeah,
the case, because I think people need to realize this hasn't just started happening. Well, there's young people that's been passing away on the field and on the court for years. Hank Gathers did it, who was famous. He died on the court for the Lloyd Marymount back in the day.
yes,
So
remember
these
that.
situations
Yeah,
have been happening. Now we have, like, again, social media makes, sensationalizes it, makes it popular, makes sure everybody knows it, and also brings awareness. I think we have to be definitely aware of just our bodies, our health, and be honest with ourselves when something's going wrong, right? When there's something going wrong, I'm quite sure it wasn't just, hey, I just passed out. I think he probably wasn't feeling right. He probably felt it, but I'm gonna fight through it, right? We always have that mentality. We're gonna fight through it. I'm gonna get through this. It's gonna be okay. I got it, and then all of a sudden, boom, it hits you out of nowhere because we don't know the ramifications happen. Again, is COVID vaccination the problem of it? We don't know. I don't know the studies behind that, but I do know dehydration, being fatigued, being tired, and our mentality is fight through it. I'm the same way. My wife, I twist my ankle, I get hurt. No, I'm telling them I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I could be walking on crutches. I don't care. I'm fine. Whether I'm hurt or not, I have the mentality. I'm going to just fight myself. I'm going to fight through it and get myself better. I think all athletes that have that, especially at the professional level, they probably have it at a very high level. I'm going to fight through any pain, anything that's going wrong. And then we're not responding to what our body is in the situations like this happen. And again, outside of just you and affecting you, imagine your surroundings who's affected. Like you said, his colleagues start crying because he
yeah,
don't know. I mean, think
yeah. It was
about it.
tough.
I'm talking to you, James. Man, you talking right now, and then I just pass out. You'd be like, what? Oh, what happened?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what's going on. And if you don't know how to react to it, or you don't know what's going on, your first thing is fear, right? You fear, you're scared, you're worried about the person, and then that those emotions, as things get better, you get better. I just don't know, man. I think we're just in right now. We're in a dangerous spot with this extreme heat. And we're in a dangerous spot with, again, the mindset of be successful, fight through it, go through, don't whatever's going on, fight through it, keep going through it. I think kids, adults, and people got to be very honest with stuff like, know when to slow down, keep kids hydrated. If they're feeling funny, pull them to the side, and let that body calm down a little bit so we can avoid these situations. And I'm quite sure even with the Bronny situation, I'm sure again, he wasn't just like, hey, I feel 100%, I'm gonna go out there and it happened. I'm pretty sure like, man, I feel a little bit funny, but I'm gonna keep going. Because that's the mentality, your body, I feel a little funny. I'm gonna just play my way. I'm
And
gonna
he's at
play
the
through it.
top of his game as well, right? Again, he's
Yeah,
going in freshman year USC. I mean, top pick and all this, and
yeah,
I'm LeBron James' son, right? I can play. I'm all right. I can shake this off. I can rub some dirt on it.
yeah,
All those things, man.
exactly. And those that attitude, even though I embrace that attitude and that's the way I live my life, sometimes it's not the right attitude, right? Rub some dirt on it, get out there, keep on playing. Maybe that's not always the right idea for everybody to do that. I think, again, players, athletes, coaches, and medical staff need to be very honest and look very diligent in these athletes. And if something's going wrong, they gotta address it hopefully before it gets to the point where some kid falls out and
Mm-hmm.
that makes.
I love that. And then what Gretchen was saying, stress is a huge factor, obvious or not recognized stress, and it wears on us.
Yep.
Listen, so don't know what's going on with Chaka. I know that he's actually was responding after he went to the hospital, so hopefully he's going to be okay. We only know that
Yeah.
Bronny is out of ICU and is in stable condition. Obviously, they're going to keep that as hush as possible and until that comes out because there's that James machine around them, so they're going to control the narrative on that, rightfully so, and we're going to give them their privacy. It was good to see DeMar Hamlin hit the field yesterday or today. I saw some
Yeah.
video of him going out there, and Bills Nation was out there to acknowledge him and to give him some props because again, that man died.
Yes.
He didn't pass out. He didn't just go get unconscious. That man died on the field, and to have him back
Yep.
there on the field again this very next season, it's a really good thing to see that was able to happen.
And,
So
and there's going to be a very watchful eye on him.
yeah.
How this all pans out, right? I mean, let's keep it real. He's going to be pretty much set the tone from when situations like this happen. How do you move forward with this? How do you recover? How do you get yourself back into shape to be that professional athlete? Because in past, it's pretty much okay. You're done playing, right? You can't play no more. You need to step away from the game. I think he's stepping on new territory that we haven't seen before. We've never seen no athlete go on cardiac arrest and bounce back and become back to be that professional athlete that he was before, or even get back on the field, or playground or whatever stage they play on. This is new territory that we've never seen before. I'm proud of him. I'm scared though too.
I wanted to say that too, right? I'm so nervous for him, right? I'm gonna be cheering for the Bills, even though I'm still trying to hold on to my Steelers, but I'm gonna be cheering for them just for him, just to make sure that he don't get knocked down too hard. So,
I'm gonna cheer for him, and then hopefully makes it back. And like I said, let's hope this new territory that he's training in is like, hey, we are showing that you can bounce back from it, and you can still get back to that elite level that you were.
Yeah.
But again, man, I'm real scared because to this day they still haven't gave us an answer kind of to why it happened. Right? The narrative there's never been a full explanation like this is the reason why it happened. And I think with Bronny's situation, we may not ever know the exact why it happened. I think the sportscaster, his was dehydration. I think dehydration probably had a lot to do with his situation. But with the cardiac arrest situation with these two, I don't know if they're ever going to tell us exactly what happened. It's going to be like the Jamie Foxx, right? We ain't gonna never know what illness he had. We don't know.
Right. Yeah.
They
And
ain't telling
folks,
us.
yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm not going to go on a conspiracy theory there. And folks are, okay. Well, you can read what you want into the J Fox. Shouts out to Fox is back. Some folks don't think Fox is, I'm going to leave that alone, but we'll talk about that. Shirley B is in here talking about to the Team No Sleep audience. Check out a wonderful organization, Jumpstart Your Heart, based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They make sure high schools have AEDs. There you go for high school athletes. There you go. Love the defibrillators and that's what it's all about.
That should be at every school.
Yeah.
It should be something where our country should be at the front for every Pop Warner, Little League, high school, college, junior college, or whatnot, everyone should have that thing because that defibrillator, as we can see, is going to save lives, right? In any instant that goes around there. So it should be something that
I've been in a room where it actually has saved
yeah,
lives, so I've seen that.
yeah,
So yeah, man. So shouts out to that. Appreciate you for bringing that statement up there, Shirley, as well. Let's
absolutely.
get into the next story, man. And this story is just snowballing into some craziness. We talked about it day one. We might have talked about it day
Yeah,
zero, actually. Uh,
yeah.
I'm just giving us props by saying that Northwestern football, that whole program is chock full of insanity, right? They y'all saw we talked about that issue with the hazing incidents plural that have been going on during out the history of the Northwestern football program. Coach ended up getting suspended. Coach ended up getting fired. Now we
Mm-hmm.
got lawsuits coming out. Now we got players and ex-players and coaches. We got folks talking. We got folks that are saying, listen, yeah, it was hazing, but it was beyond that. It was not just your regular old fraternity, sorority types of things. They were doing some things that were sexually explicit and definitely demeaning and demoralizing. You see the title of this story right here. Some of the players actually assaulted their own coaches during some of these incidents as well. This has just turned into so much, and also the fact that the players didn't even attend their media day this week. So there's so much negative air around this entire program. New coach has to come in now. AD has to try to explain that he's still got control of the entire situation. You got players, current and ex-players, current and ex-coaches talking madness about what goes on behind the scenes in the locker room. You know the football locker room. Talk to us a little bit about your thoughts of how this story is just turning into just a crazy nightmare for everyone involved with Northwestern.
Um, this is going to really shed some light on what goes on in football and in the negative eye, especially collegiate football. I think this Northwestern situation, I ain't gonna say it's an isolated situation, but it kind of is. This doesn't happen everywhere. So
Yeah,
people think it happens everywhere. It doesn't. Not to this extreme. I do believe there's some hazing, and I believe some hazing is okay. I think it brings some brotherhood. Everybody shaves their head, or they make you shave your legs, or they make you run around the field with ice. That stuff's all in good fun just to kind of build some solidarity. This is right here, way above and beyond. The sexual. I don't know what the sexual allegations that are happening. Now, former players are coming saying this happened under this coach and his staff. Physical abuse. Um, and I don't think people don't know. Like in football, it's a lot of fights. It is a lot of fights. I mean, it's macho. It's a macho sport. It's physical. It's aggressive, and it's a competitive nature.
well,
People are gonna
if you
fight.
watch, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you watching Hard Knocks this year, NFL football fans, if you're watching Hard Knocks, they're following the Jets around, and
Mm-hmm.
there was just a story of I think 3 fights last
Yeah.
week during practice
yeah.
at Jets and on the Jets field. So you'll watch
Yeah.
that on HBO if you got Hard Knocks. But you're right, it's just that
Yeah.
competitive nature and aggression when you
Yeah.
got 300-pound men out there trying to knock you down. So I'm sorry, go ahead,
Exactly.
man.
And everybody's fighting for a job, right? You're fighting for a job. You're
That's the
fighting
thing
for
right there. You fighting for that roster
yeah,
spot.
yeah. So you're gonna do whatever you need to do. This part in Northwestern is going to uncover an ugly side because whatever they did or what's going on there is very extreme. And I think if even more allegations come out, I wouldn't be surprised if they suspend the season. I wouldn't be surprised if they say we're
Yeah,
not playing this year due to all this allegations and what's going on because they're going to have to correct it. I think that culture is beyond just a new coach coming in and cleaning it up. They got to clean house from top to bottom because if the head coach knew about it, the AD knew about it. I'm telling you,
yes,
everybody
yeah.
knows words go. Everything buzzes around. I find it hard to believe that a player was sexually assaulted on a football team and no one knew. That's not happening. The people involved knew. It spreads among the team knew. The cheerleaders start to know. Other athletes start to know, and it trickles all the way up so somebody figures out. And there was
Right.
no
And in,
corrective
in this
action.
world of everyone has one of these $1,000
Yes,
cameras in their pocket, not phones, $1,000 cameras in their phone, and they can go live across the planet in 2 minutes.
yeah,
So everybody knew.
kind of
Everybody knew.
kind of hard. I mean, we were able to find out about those things when it happened when we had no phones and no internet. Now, can you imagine what everything that people knew about it? So
Come
I
on now.
think there's gonna be heads chopping. I think there's gonna be a lot of head chopping. A lot of people gone. People that was a part of that old coach's regime, they got to be let go. I mean, they got a whole lot of cleanup to do, and we got to think the season starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Camp starts in 2 weeks for a lot of people. So I don't know how Northwestern's going to get past that. Now, the legal part of it, they're screwed, man. They're going to be screwed. But also another caveat to this whole thing is the whistleblowing. Like, they're really going to expose it. You know, I've already seen them say, well, this happens at other programs too. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But now it's about to open a watchful eye on every program of what's going on, and see exactly what kind of hazing is good or not, or is hazing going to be outlawed? Is there going to be a ramification of this? Because you got to think the lawsuits. I'm gonna be real with lawsuits. They're going to go away. Northwestern is a rich school. They got enough money to pay people off to keep them quiet. That's not going to be a problem at all. The thing is NCAA now going to investigate hazing issues all across the country. Are they going to start putting something in place like, if we catch you guys hazing, are we going to suspend you guys from bowl play? You know, the only way you eliminate this, and we talk about time, you got to hit the pocketbook. You got to hit the pocketbook. They're a Big Ten. They're a Big Ten team. They make millions and millions of dollars on football alone. They're on the Big Ten channel. They get paid from playing on ESPN. They get paid for playing on the Big Ten channel. They get paid for going to these bowl games. If you can't hit them in the pocketbook, yeah, the hazing will go away for a little bit, but it'll come back, right? It's just something that it's ingrained. Hazing, and the form of hazing is engraved and entrenched in football.
All right, so let me ask you this. I just thought about this, and I forgot the team that got hit with this. I think it was Florida. Is this warrant the death penalty?
No.
Who was it? Was it the Hurricanes that got the death, or was it Arizona? One of those.
SMU got the death penalty years ago, but that was based on, I think, on gambling. Yes. And then somebody else has got kind of hit with it. It's not going to warrant the death penalty. You know why? Because it's been ingrained in kind of the culture, right? We've accepted a form of hazing within the culture. Now, did Northwestern go way overboard? Hell yeah. Whatever's going on, and we don't know all the details. We just hear kind of allegations. Whatever it is, they went way too far. They've already, they took the initial step to fire the coach. I'm pretty sure they're going to take initial steps to fire the staff. I think investigation will be going to the AD and everything that's going on there. I do think it's going to be warrant a penalty that they may not be banned from bowl games and banned from some other things like that. But I don't think you'll ever see a Division I program that makes money like they do ever get the death penalty again, because you can never come back. SMU was one of the top teams when they got hit with it. They had Eric Dickerson that just left, Craig James just left, 2 NFL guys. They were on high, and they got the death penalty, and they haven't recovered since. And Eric Dickerson been out of the league. I mean, he's been out of the league for 20 years.
Yeah,
so
ain't nobody talking about
years,
them
they
no
still
more.
haven't recovered.
Man.
Yeah, they still haven't recovered. So that won't happen. I just believe, man, until we get the full truth of what's going on in Northwest, like we get the details, like what happened and what's going on, it's going to be hard for us to make a judgment. But I know whatever it is, NCAA is going to have to step in at some point, because I don't think you can self-police that, because, like I said, I find it hard that the AD, who's in charge of everything, only the president's above him, that you didn't know. Like, how did you not know or get any whim or get any hear of this? And it's been going on for years. It ain't just how it happened. This is the first year it happened. This has been going on for years, because ex-players that played in it saying this is the situation that happened. Yeah. So this has been going on for at least, let's say, 3 or 4 years. You mean to tell me you're the head of all athletics, football is your number one moneymaker, and you haven't heard any allegations like this where you needed to step in and figure it out?
You can't sweep everything under the boy. You can't sweep stuff under the, especially like this, man. Somebody gonna talk. Yeah. It's not good, brother. It's just not good.
Come on, man. If you hear, think about this, Jay. If you're coaching a team and somebody says, "Hey, man, there's a rumor going around that one of the players was sexually assaulted," what? That should be red alert. What happened? Hold on, coach. I need you in my office. I need to talk to the player that said that you need to take all those corrective actions to make sure you figure out exactly what's going on and then make your decision. To me, none of that hasn't been to be done. And you can't tell me as an AD that you didn't hear anything in 3 or 4 years. There's no way a football team kept that much on hush. There's no way. Men got some more worse than women. There ain't no way that it didn't happen.
Well, and especially since, and like Gretchen is saying, football fuels everything, right? So it's the football programs that often fund the other sports. So if a football program is penalized, the fallout will unfortunately affect so many other kids and programs. And So, and the reason I say that, since football fuels all these other activities around the school, there are a lot of eyes on it. AD,
Mm-hmm.
dean, associate dean, the
Yep.
janitor, right? Everyone's watching what's jumping off when it comes to the football field, right? So
So nobody heard, and
ain't nobody heard,
that's what
ain't
I'm
nobody
saying.
heard nothing, right?
Nobody heard
Okay,
nothing.
okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's certain things and don't get me wrong, there's certain things they'll sweep under the rug and they'll keep on the hush. I'm sure Alabama got some problems. I'm sure
Ooh,
Michigan has
man,
some
to be a
problems.
fly on the
I'm sure
wall
all
in
these schools
Saban's
have some.
office. Good lord.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure all these things come, and certain things they can probably like, hey, oh, your player gamble. But I'm saying when you have a player players that said they've been sexually assaulted, that's a whole different
Yeah,
ball game.
you pump the brakes and
You got to play.
stop, because we need to
Yeah,
figure
yeah,
out
yeah.
what's going on,
Oh,
and get some
okay,
some clarity
yeah,
on that.
and I'm going to tell the difference. Oh, a player got into a fight. Okay, so players vandalize something. Okay, we can sweep that under the rug. We can talk to them, get them. A player even stealing something out of a store. Okay, let's talk to them. Let's figure it out. Let's go. Let's go from there. We can slap them on the hand and figure something what's going on. When you cross that sexual assault line, that in gunplay, anything to do with
Yeah,
gunplay,
good
those are
point.
the two big no-nos you cannot have in college sports. And I'm having a hard time Northwestern saying they didn't hear anything regarding those hazing acts happening to those players. There's no. I'm telling everybody right there. There's no possible way they did not know.
When the word is rituals, so alleging rituals involving a naked human car wash and a punishment called Shrek's claps. That's only in the first lawsuit. So ritual mean, again, happen more. I don't even want to know. So listen, I don't know what the kids are doing. I don't want to know
Wait, I'm
what a
looking at your
Shrek
article.
clap is.
This brings back to 2014. Bro,
Yeah,
they've
bro.
been doing this for
Yeah,
years and
yeah,
nobody said nothing. And don't get me wrong. I went to Humboldt State. There was a tradition where people used to do. Some people, I don't know if it was a track team or nothing, but they used to run around the track naked.
mm,
That was they thing. They ran around the naked at midnight, like
yeah.
late midnight. They'd all run around naked, and then one lap, and then whatever. That was the kind of tradition go. But we already know in these days and times, and 2014 has been plenty of time. You have to change with times. You can't do those types of things anymore because social media and things have changed. I had to find it hard to believe the Northwestern can't say a naked car wash by a bunch of grown ass men or a bunch of young teenagers is something suitable to be doing in today's time.
Montel dropping bombs on
I don't
these
care.
fools,
I
man.
don't care how much tradition it is. Can't do that no more,
Just
dog.
can't do it. You just can't do it, man.
Yeah, can't
So
do it. So and Northwestern is supposed to be what, like a somewhat like an Ivy League school. So to be so smart, y'all was really dumb on this situation.
y'all not looking right now. Y'all not looking. All right, we gonna figure it out. Listen, again, we brought it day zero when it broke out
Yeah.
about Coach Fitzgerald, right? And we
Yep.
said, okay, this may turn into something. So we said we were gonna keep an eye on it. Sure enough, a week or two later, now it's all snowballing into a whole lot of things, and there's a lot of dirt under the carpet. So we will see what's jumping off here, man. Let's see here. I see. No, mom, that was me with the little bomb effect there, because Montel was dropping bombs there. So I'm glad you're here. And she's so cute. She said, "What was that? She said, "Is that a crash?"
Nah, we good.
Gretchen says her daughter was a varsity crew at UW 2002 to
Mhm.
2006. Not the same draw as UW football crew had his own crazy traditions. Again, all
Yep.
athletics, all teams, all organizations have something, right? It's
Yeah.
either hazing rituals, whatever the case may be. And, yeah, if you ever seen the movie School Days, right?
Hmm.
Old school Spike Lee movie, right? And
Yeah.
again, for folks who may not be in Greek life, they can see that and kind of get a feel of some of the things that happen. Yeah, running up and down the court or the basketball or the football field at night, naked, doing this, uh, doing all kinds of things like that, but nothing to necessarily harm and to demean and to discredit anyone and to make anyone feel out of sorts and uncomfortable. What's going on and what's
Hmm.
been going on at Northwestern, though, has to be addressed and has to be dealt with. And unfortunately, and
Yeah.
then we'll move on to some other
Yep.
things. Unfortunately, I'm sure that this is not the only school that's still doing this right now. They just the one recently that's gotten caught. I don't know if anyone else is
Yeah. Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
doing it to this extreme, but that's I'm sure it's happening at other locations as well.
Well, I mean, It's funny. This story comes out, and then we just got the story I forgot from the Florida school where they played. They made a rap video in the locker room. That had some discretion. Had some discretionary words. That had some curse words in it, and the coach suspended all football activity for a week. I think it was FMAU, if I'm not mistaken. They made a rap video. So somebody on the team made a rap video in the locker room. It had some curse words in it, and it was talking about some content he didn't like. Boom. Because he knows back in the day you might have been able to do that, but nowadays you can't do those types of things because it discredits the university and discredits the football team organization what they're doing. So he made the right move to say I'm canceling all football activity.
Right. Florida A&M.
2014.
There it is right there. My goodness.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So you mean to tell me Northwestern, Ivy League type level school, your athlete department didn't figure it out, that having a butt naked car wash with your players is not a good idea.
Y'all
now
listen, this is where y'all come to get the real scoop, man. You're not gonna get this on.
Like I told everybody, I am all about hazing. I think some hazing is very healthy. I think it provides brotherhood, initiation. It kind of gets you like shaving your head, doing some crazy, a little bit of crazy stuff. I don't think that's such a bad thing. I think it it brings people actually more together because you're all in one. I think that's okay. But some either player at that point or somebody in administration needs to know you crossed the line. Like if they told me I got to get butt naked and wash a car, I'd be like, we gonna fight. I'm not doing that, right? That ain't even funny. I don't know what that does. We're gonna go ahead and get it up, and then we can get it out of our system, and that's healthy too, right? You can go against the grain and get it on out. I think some of these cats, man. I mean, you can play victim for so long, but at some point you're supposed to stand up for yourself, and I don't care how much tradition it is. You're supposed to stand up for yourself. In this case, in Northwestern, I agree making a lawsuit, but also I'm like, man, well, hold on. You continue to play. And you continue to be with these guys, and they continue to have a brotherhood of football with them. Are you the victim? Are you so much the victim all of a sudden?
That's a good point. Wow.
I don't know.
Somebody's gonna have to answer that. That's for sure. Somebody's gonna have to answer that.
You got to answer that question. Yeah.
All right, man. We will
Let's
see.
move on, bro.
Yeah, we will see. We beat that horse down, but again, it is mushroomed into something. Appreciate folks for chiming in the comments. I see it, Tony Davis. Appreciate you for being here as well. I see Mr. Who I thought I saw some other new folks. Now, so Mom in here. Oh, of course, Mr. Cox is in the building. So we got to say what's up to him for keeping us on point with the moderation. Let's go into some other news. Again, some negative news, unfortunately. Man, we got a whole bunch of. We're gonna end on a good story. I think we're gonna end on a good story tonight. Let me look over here and see what's going on with this World Cup. Though, okay, I'm not gonna talk about the World Cup right now because it's still early. We won't talk about that. Here we go. So, we're my New England Patriots alumni folks who probably know what's going on with them. Aaron Hernandez. Remember the whole debacle with him. Right, the gang affiliation, the prison sentence, him dying, the prison sentence, the incarceration, and then his subsequent death while he was behind bars due to some gang affiliation, gang activities. His older brother, DJ Hernandez, is just as bad. And listen, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it here online, and hopefully they don't come after me. But DJ Hernandez, his older brother, used to play ball as well. Used to play I think he was a quarterback, was a wide receiver, so pretty stellar athlete. But had an altercation reverting back to the issue with his younger brother Aaron. So he started harassing the folks in Bristol, Connecticut at ESPN. He was throwing bricks onto the campus at ESPN, threatening to kill folks that were talking bad about his brother. And then just recently, he actually had another situation in Bristol where he made some more threats, saying he was going to kill folks, and primarily stemming from folks that were involved with his late brother situation. Only reason that he got caught, his girlfriend turned him in. Girlfriend says, look, DJ is out here talking madness, talking about he's going to go out and shoot up schools. He's going to go out and shoot up campuses. Y'all need to get this man. And so they subsequently went and got him, locked him up. And now DJ Hernandez is behind bars. Man, this is crazy. soap opera. This is bad. This is just a horrible
Mhm.
situation. What do you think,
Uh,
man? What's going on with these folks?
Um, kudos to the girlfriend recognizing he has a mental health issue and he needs help, obviously. Um, for him, I I believe his lifeline was his brother, right? And this is just my opinion. I think his lifeline was his brother. His brother was bringing in all the money, all the success, helping the family in so many ways that we can only imaginable. And then it was all taken away in an ugly way due to what Aaron Hernandez's actions and what he did. So now I think, people always say there's something that always breaks you, right? Snaps. I
Hmm.
think that's probably what snapped him mentally, and then now he goes into all these outrage and these tirades because life ain't like it was when my brother was around, right? Life wasn't as good. Life ain't as great as it was when my brother was around doing all these things and having all this money and having us do this thing, doing the things that we were doing. Now life is real. I actually got to get a 9 to 5. I actually got to work. I got to listen to everybody critique my brother and slander my family. I mean, that's pressure in itself, right? Somebody's got to have some strong hands and strong shoulders to take that. And then DJ doesn't seem like he has that. He can't he can't take the critique of what his brother did and the thing situation out with his brother. So he lashes out the only way he knows how, which is it seems like violently, right? Everything's violent. Everything's I got to
Yeah.
shoot, I got to fight, I got to throw bricks, and in itself, that's a mental health, right? That's what we talk about all the time on our show. That's a mental health issue. That is something that he needs to get corrected. He needs to address it. He needs to because pretty much it seems like to me you got some bottled anger in about what happened to your brother that you have no other outlet. And when
Yeah.
it comes to the
And
extreme, just
he's
fighting the
not
people that would
calling
stand
out.
back.
He's not calling out for help, right? He's calling out in retaliation and in anger. So I mean, there's a whole different avenue of
But
the
isn't that
brain that's
a
being
sign of
affected,
help,
right?
though?
I,
Is
I
that a
don't I
sign of
don't I
help?
don't know, man. I don't know. Calling out for help, saying that he's going to go
I
to
mean,
schools and start shooting up folks.
no, and I think it goes downhill, right? At first, it went to just, hey, don't talk stuff about my brother. I'm willing to fight. Then it
Mm-hmm.
went to I'm throwing bricks at people at what's the name. Then it went to like I'm making a suggestion. I'm gonna shoot you, and it just keeps going further and further and further and further because you go deeper and deeper and deeper into the depression mode. Don't get me wrong. I ain't making no excuse for him, bro. You need to be up under the jail until they figure out what the hell's wrong with you to get it right. I'm not making no excuse. But I am rationalizing what his thought process is. Everything has been taken away. And when things are taken away from everybody, especially like that, desperation, anger, and depression sets in. He's in the midst of one of
Mm.
those three.
Yeah, this is just, man, it's scary and unfortunate, right? Again, and for it to play out like this, and just, yeah, thank goodness for
I mean,
his girlfriend who intervened. I think just in the nick
yeah,
of
yeah,
time, because talking about shooting police, talking about shooting up
yeah.
schools,
He's about.
going to the
I think
ESPN
someone
headquarters
told me
and
one.
shoot.
I think someone told me one time when the pain succumbs your thought process, the pain of whatever's going on with you becomes your thought process. That's when you become suicidal. And I think the pain of whatever his family, the pain of him losing his family losing, the embarrassment that his brother caused to his family, part of the fact that he wasn't as successful as his brother, I think all those things start to kind of just roll on up and kind of just build up, build up, build up, and that starts to take effect in your mental. Again, I'm not making no excuse for him. If he was planning on doing that, you need to be held up for your actions because you're sane enough to load a gun. Your ass should be sane enough to do the time if your ass is going to do something like that. So I ain't making no excuses for him.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I'm kind of putting myself in the thought process of how did he come to this situation?
yeah, and
How
that
did
makes
this all
sense.
come?
Yeah, and folks, I'll put the links to the description to all these stories, and that kind of that makes sense in terms of just what DJ has been saying. Because here's from the article: he says he has been dying for years, and now it's other
Mm-hmm.
people's turn. Not all shootings are bad. I'm realizing, he wrote. So those are the words from DJ Hernandez, right? So premeditated. After reading that again, maybe that is a call out for help, and just fortunate
Yeah,
enough that someone did get him before he actually acted. So that's
yeah,
that's tough, man.
yeah. But again, I'm not making any excuse for him
Yeah,
not getting arrested. I think it's the right thing. I'd give more kudos to his girlfriend to have one the galls to be able to call the police and say, "Hey, this dude snapped. Something going on with this guy. Y'all need to come get him." I think she deserves a lot of credit,
yeah.
a lot of credit for doing what she did because most people would just stand back and let it go. They would ignore the signs. She saw some signs that she made sure they got them. But I think each incident was signs that it was leading to this point, right? It's progressively was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. All the actions he was getting involved in. So I mean, the Hernandez family, man, they obviously got some things going on, man. And then being in Bristol, I mean, being in Connecticut where they're from, man, I can only imagine the scrutiny and everything he went by his brother. And internet and people are cruel, right? No one's going to show any sympathy for somebody that was a gang affiliate that was doing drive-by shootings in
That's
college and
true.
doing all these things and all the accusations. No one's going to be sympathetic behind that. Unfortunately, he bared the grunt because he was out there in the streets hearing it, and now we're here. Now you're part of the story of being violent and doing the same exact things. Unfortunately.
Hopefully, he gets his help that he needs. I'm glad he's off the streets, and yeah, thankful for his girlfriend for stepping in. All right, man. Let's
Yes.
go into let's change the dynamic just a little bit, man. I wish I had some happy music or something to throw on, but football season, NFL,
Yes.
almost
Mhm.
right. We practicing OTAs, all the things. Damar Hamlin is back on the field, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Saquon, got his money.
A
Who
little
else got?
something, just a little
Well, he
taste.
got
He got a little
he got a
taste.
little
Yeah.
bit. He got some folks are getting
Yeah.
their money. You got Russell out there practicing on Dion's field. So you got things happening. But then we going over to the East Coast and we go talk to them, talk to that Washington team. They done mess around and change hands again. So this is actually pretty decent news. And I don't know why Kyle Shanahan is on the screen, but let me just don't worry about that. But hey, Washington Commanders now are no longer owned by Mr. Dan Snyder and his family. They are owned by the Josh Harris partnership or investment team. And part of that team includes Mr. Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Here go Magic with his family right there on a yacht in Greece just past week, just rocking a new command. Look, man, that's a good looking picture right there, huh?
Man.
So Magic Johnson coming from where he was and from his issues, his health issues, and just everything he's gone through, and now just succeeding so much in business. Los Angeles, everyone in Los Angeles area knows Magic Johnson just from his movie theaters, from his shopping malls, and all that, and his other investments in terms of sports. But to be a majority owner in an NFL team, that's grown folk money right there.
Yeah.
This,
He's
this,
changed the
this,
game.
this is a good look right here. This is a good look. And it's good to see some representation sitting at the head of the table for a major franchise like this. Let's get your thoughts on that. And then I'll talk about the second part of this story that I want to get into as well.
I I think it's awesome, man. I think Magic Johnson has done something groundbreaking, right? Him and his partners as far as that financial group to be able to get themselves in that situation to purchase the Commanders. I think Magic Johnson will do wonders for the community of DC, just like he did wonders for the community of LA, with his theaters and other things, other ventures he can piggyback off on with him owning it. Now that he owns a piece of the Dodgers and now he owns a piece of the Commanders, he's in two major sports representing. You can't ask for no more, and I think he's blazing he's blazing the trail for the next one to step up and showing them how to do it. For the next
Yeah.
LeBrons to get in the ownership and so on else. I think he's blazing the trail and he's laying down the blueprint for people that want to get involved in these types of things. Remember, the only ownership that we've always been in, as far as African American owners, has probably been basketball, and it's always been a minority owner.
Yeah.
Like Jordan was a minority owner. We've never been in a situation where we're part of the majority owner team, and we're now a really big representation of an organization. This is huge, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Magic, Magic is
Again,
working magic,
this is
bro.
grown folk money right here. This is grown folk money. So again,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see Magic and what he's got. You know him, NBA star. He got stake in the Dodgers, of course. You know that I didn't realize he had stake in the soccer team as well, the Los Angeles FC,
Yep.
and then in the Sparks. And they were. I knew that they were part of the team that was trying to acquire the Broncos last year, and
Mm-hmm.
that fell through. I actually think this is a better fit
Yep.
for the personalities of Harris and Johnson. Now, the second part of this story is they were the Redskins. Now they're the Commanders. Now let's talk about changing the name again. And the name that's on the plate right now, on the table right now, called them Washington Magic. After
No, I don't
Johnson.
like that.
You think that's corny, or what do you think? You don't like that? Okay.
Yeah, that's corny. That's corny. That's corny. That doesn't identify with the city at all. That's nah. I don't like that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Commanders, but I'm now that we're just used to it in the brand. We're getting used to that brand.
Yeah.
We were always used to the Redskins brand for so many years, and they had to do that because of, it was culturally insensitive. Magic doesn't fit. I think if you're gonna do something like that and dynamically change the name, you need to go out to the people that's gonna support your fan base. Ask them what would be a great name. We shouldn't throw a good name Magic out there and say we're the Washington Magics. Especially, do you want your name
You're not gonna
synonymous with
rock
that if it's
a
unsuccessful?
Washington Magic jersey. You're not gonna rock that.
Nah, man, that sounds corny. That don't even sound right. I think you should, if you're gonna change the
I can't even
name,
keep a straight face
go
when I'm mentioning it to you. That's why I
yeah,
should
yeah,
go
yeah.
off camera because I'm.
If you're gonna change the name, man, go ask your season ticket holders and your
Yeah.
fan base, and have them submit some names, and then narrow that down, and then let them vote on what the name should be. Because if the city names a team, they're gonna embrace it, right? That's something they're gonna embrace. They're gonna support it. Magic that don't even sound right, man. That's corny. That's not cool. I don't
You're
like
not gonna
that.
be
That
the
name.
public address announcer for the Washington Magic. Okay, I'm gonna
Nah,
stop playing. I'm gonna
that's more.
stop playing.
If you're gonna do the Magic, that should be like more of the basketball team, right? Instead of the Wizards, it
Yeah,
should be the
well, it's
Washington
already
Magic.
Orlando Magic, so you can't.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
What you gonna
if
do?
you're gonna make a team, that's more basketball synonymous, not football. What does Magic got to do with football? I mean, what does the name Magic got to do with
Look at
football?
he getting mad.
It
He getting
doesn't
mad
even
over there. Lord have mercy. I'd
doesn't even
much rather
correlate.
pick at the wound.
Nah.
Let,
I'm just saying that's
let's
corny, man.
just look at the picture right here again. We got
Yeah.
Magic and his family rocking the Commanders. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I
I
agree
think,
that
man.
Magic would be kind of corny, and I think they should keep the Commanders just for a little while,
Yeah,
or ask the folks. Ask the folks.
yeah, man. Rock with me, Magic. Rock with me. Change the name. Change the name with the fans. Let the fans change the name.
That's all good.
So,
All right. So there we go. We ending on a positive note because that's groundbreaking. All the positive accolades to someone like a Magic Johnson again, who has had ups and downs in his life and his career, and that's just a really good story to see again. Majority owner, not just minority owner, but actually sitting at the head of the table and making big moves and big decisions. Him and Mr. Harris and that partnership group. World Cup is going on. You watching that?
I'm going to. I haven't watched any of the games just yet, but I'm going to
What?
peep a
You
little bit
you
of it
know
out.
you
I don't
know
like it. I like it when it's at the end. I want to see who's in
man,
the
no,
finals and
you
then
got
rock
see.
with me.
Listen, right now we play in the Netherlands, and there's trash talk between the. I only have rooted or cheered. I don't know the word for the women's team because they're winners.
Yeah.
The fellas can't win. I do have
See?
I do have a dude. The women's. No, I do have a men's jersey, but listen, I'm a Rapinoe, Morgan, Lloyd. I'm a fan of all that, and Rodman's daughter out there making it happen, and
Yep.
and the young lady that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, man. So,
Mhm.
60-minute mark so far. The Netherlands up 1-0 so far. We got to win. Netherlands came out
Yeah.
talking trash though. They said, "Listen, we gonna get y'all this year," and right now they got the upper hand, but there's still a little bit of time. You got to watch the game, man. You got to watch some of these matches.
I'm gonna check it out. But man, me not. Soccer's a little bit more exciting than your sport, baseball.
Oh, see, there he go talk about my baseball there, right? Oh, okay.
It's more exciting than baseball. I'm gonna have to give it that. And I promise you, once we log off, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it. I'm gonna put it on the TV, at least on the small screens. I can keep up to see what's going on. And then when it gets close to that, I like it when it's that last 4 or 5 minutes because that's when the grind really is. Everybody taking shots, everybody doing everything. That last 10 to 5 minutes, that was the last 10 minutes of the game. Man, soccer. That's when soccer. You like, man,
That's
it's
true.
on.
That's true.
So,
Now, okay, so World Cup, but have you been watching? So the big story, I like the stories in sports. Have you been watching about Messi over in Miami? So Lionel Messi over in Miami. Listen, man, that's good for the sport, and they winning so far. So
that's cool. I mean,
I think
Messi's
so.
a little bit past his
Here's where I'm
prime,
going
I
with.
believe.
Here's where I go with it because Lionel Messi, and if you read some of his story, as he was growing up, he was always undersized. He was always smaller than everyone else, and he had issues with that. And now for him to rise to be arguably probably one of the best players still out there right now. Right, you got your Pelés, you got your Ronaldos, you got I only know a handful, but Messi's a bad man, at least paid for.
He's
Mbappe.
I give it to you. He was one of the greats. One of the greats. But we both know when you have to come to the United States to play professional soccer, you're not at the top of your game no more. It's not a knock. It's just the way it is. Those international teams are the cream of the crop when it comes to soccer. So when you come to the United States and be a part of the platform, don't get me wrong. It's good for the game and it's good to pump up United States soccer.
Yeah.
But globally, it means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Great, Messi.
So does Miami have a pass from you because David Beckham is an order in that, right? And Beckham been there like Beckham, right? All the kids, anybody 30 years old. Okay.
Yeah, but they is Beckham. I mean, are they the top soccer players in the world? No, they're not no more.
No, that's
they
true.
were.
No.
They were. Don't get me wrong. They were the top at some point, and now we bring them over to the United States to kind of either finish their career or tail off their career because they're not the top anymore, but they can still get that in the United States soccer. United States soccer professional soccer is second tier to the world. It is second tier soccer compared to the world over in Europe. I'm not saying it's not good. I believe it's great for the United States brand, right? He's a great brand for Miami to endorse, and people in the United States to gravitate towards soccer and kind of start to like it a little bit more. And he gives them a name brand. But for you to say he's the best player, he's one of the best players now in the world. That's not.
He's pretty dope. Let's go.
He's not now in the world, man.
Oh, okay.
He's good, but he's not the best.
I just can't name everybody else. I can only name 3 or 4 players. Shout out to the U.S. It's tied up now. See, as we were talking madness, the U.S. tied it up. So.
It's good. That means my last 10 minutes I'm gonna watch is gonna be dope because they're gonna be going.
I'm gonna let you go so you can watch your game right there. But hold on, let's see. So Gretchen was saying that we watched the party that Portland held during the game the other night. Tens of thousands gathered in front of City Hall to watch 3 women from Portland team on the U.S. team. Okay, well. Maybe one of them just scored the goal for us.
Yeah, that's dope. That's super dope.
I got my vuvuzela. You know about the vuvuzela, the big long horn that they play. You don't know. You're not into that.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
You got to get the accessories, brother, if you're gonna watch these sports. It's the big long horn that they blow whenever someone scores a goal. But that's mainly like in Spain and Madrid, and yeah, that's true.
That ain't U.S., bro.
That's true. Okay, hold on. Let me. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. You played yourself with that one, man.
I did. I'm gonna be quiet now. Listen, we back though. Appreciate you, Montel, for being patient with your boy while we was out doing what it is that we do. We just out here trying to make a dent in the universe, as I say. Go ahead and take us home, man. Go ahead and take us home.
Yeah. First and foremost, I'd like to say happy anniversary to my wife. Today is our wedding anniversary, which is great. Yeah, man. She got a present early. Good for me to be on the podcast today. Happy anniversary, baby. I love you. Also, man, like I say, always, just like the stories you talk about, mental health. Please check on people. Please say hi to your loved ones. Please keep in contact with them because you never know what they're going through. Again, always get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. That's the way we go. Team No Sleep. We're out.
Man, y'all be good to yourself. Appreciate you now.